Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter Watches TV, where I watch all the TV shows and then I come over here and I talk about them. And today I'm going to talk about Episode 2, Season 7 of Welcome to Plathville. I am slowly making my way through this season. I think there's 4 episodes out already, and the 5th episode I think actually comes out tonight. So I'm trying to watch an episode at a time and take notes. I have to say this, okay? I feel kind of 2 different ways around this season. This season, I don't know what is, if you've watched any of my other TLC reviews, I always have huge issues with TLC, the production team at TLC. Part of my issue is that they don't include everything that should be, like, as far as reality TV, they don't include everything that's reality about reality TV. And sometimes you don't find things out for several seasons. And that is very true of Welcome to Plathville, as I found out in episode 2. It is also very true of Sister Wives. It's very true of all the shows on TLC. But something is going on this season with Welcome to Plathville. I'm not really sure. I almost kind of feel like there's conversations going on behind the scenes that they know that season 20 of Sister Wives is going to be the last season. Now, TLC has supposedly confirmed that season 20 of Sister Wives will be the last season. I believe it will be the last season. I believe the way that they will do it is that they will check in. I think it'll be a shorter season than it's been. I don't think it'll be a 24 to 28 season. I think it'll be about the selling of Coyote Pass. I think it'll be about the custody battle between, between Christine and Cody. I think it'll have a lot to do with that. I think it'll be a lot of checking in, though, and then them going back and kind of like the later part of the season will be a lot about them going down memory road and, kind of like playing out different things on memory road. And will this happen on season 2? And what do you think about it now? Kind of like how they do the reunions now, which are not reunions because they're just basically interviews with 5 different people. They're not reunions at all. A reunion is where you sit on a couch. TLC never forces their people to do that. I think it's ridiculous. I think that, especially when I found out that each of the people in Sister Wives was getting, I know you were like, this is not a Sister Wives video. I know, but hear me out. When each of the people in Sister Wives was getting paid like $1 million or $1 million something, like $900,000 a season, I think it's ridiculous that they don't force them to all sit on a couch. Same thing goes with Welcome to Plathville. Same thing goes with all of these people. I don't know why they're not forced to sit on a couch. Number 1, because it's a reality show and that's what you do in a reality show. Number 2, these TLC shows, if they had reunions, would be such shit shows. They would be, can you even imagine sitting in the same room, Cody Brown, Robin Brown, all the wives? It would be such a shit show. Can you imagine a Welcome to Plathville reunion with Kim and Barry, all the kids, and Olivia Plath over there? It would be such a shit show. People would so turn in for that reunion that it's a real missed opportunity. And I don't know, TLC really allows their cast members to really dictate kind of how the shows go. Like if Cody Brown, because he gets to say a lot about what happens on Sister Wives. I think the same thing is going on with Welcome to Plathville. Something's going on and I'm confused about it. But I will say this. Last season of Welcome to Plathville was so boring, okay? It was so boring. And, it was really, the whole season was about Olivia and Ethan's divorce. And so this season, I'm only on episode 2, and it's like we are seeing sides that we are seeing all of the guys, okay? Ethan, Micah, Isaac, which I was very disappointed in, Barry. We are seeing a misogynist, homophobic, problematic side to them that they have never shown us in 6 previous seasons, okay? We're seeing a side of Kim that I feel, and I'm only on episode 2, that I feel very sympathetic for. I don't think that Kim has been able to really share her story. We're starting to hear people come out and say, like Veronica said, do you want me to share it? Do you want me to share what really happened behind the scenes? And then we see Kim confront Barry when he refuses to come back in the house in the episode 2, and she says, well, I can go in there and tell the producers my side of the story. So it's what is being left out. What is being left out? And they are really amping this show up. I have to be honest with you. In the first 2 episodes I've watched, this is really good reality TV. This is what I wish the previous 6 seasons had been. It is really, really good. And so I think they are trying to make Welcome to Plathville the next Sister Wives. Like, I think they are trying to get people invested in it like people were invested in Sister Wives. And I'm not entirely sure it's not going to happen. I mean, this 7th season for me is kind of like when Sister Wives moved to Vegas. I mean, it is kind of like the one that's sealing the deal for me. Like, if this season had started off and it was a bunch of like sitting around playing guitar and shit like that, I would have been out, okay? But this is good. Like, I mean, this is juicy. So let's get into episode 2. And like I said, I'm only on episode 2, so I haven't watched all the episodes yet. I'm on episode 2, which was called The Face Off. When it starts, and I have a lot of notes, so let me get into the notes. The way I do my videos is I just read the notes and then I kind of like respond to things. Ethan and Mariah are eating lunch, and he says that he's got a hot girlfriend now, and her name is Tegan. The whole thing, this whole episode, like, Mariah was in this episode quite a bit. Mariah does not look good. I don't know what it is. I feel for the girl. She is really, really going through something. But I hope they address that at some point in the season. Maybe they have on episode 3 or episode 4. But as a viewer, Mariah concerns me. Like, she, even in the conversations that she's having, she doesn't really engage in the conversations. She seems like she's done. Like, she doesn't want to be part of the show anymore. I don't really know what is going on with her. Like, even when they were asking her, well, we'll get to, I mean, she always kind of plays the victim too. But there's something very worrisome to me about how they're presenting Mariah on the show. Like, physically, she just does not look good. I hope that she's okay. I think I said this in my previous thing. This family that is all about, we want to spend all this time together. We love each other. You know, Kim says later that she works with Mariah every day at this restaurant. Mariah checks in with her dad a lot. I hope that they're checking in with Mariah. Like, Mariah she seems off to me. Like, in every episode, or every scene of this episode that she was in, Mariah just seems completely off to me. So her and Ethan are talking, and he holds up this knife. I mean, what is Ethan, 25 or 26? And he holds up this knife, and he's talking about the knife not being well endowed. Well, the joke is completely missed on Mariah because she doesn't know what well endowed means. And so then the producers explain it to her. And even then, Mariah's just like, yeah, that's kind of Ethan. Like, he would make a joke like that. It's like, I don't know. Either he's always been this way, and there's been moments like that before where he would make sexual jokes with Olivia. But, like, either what is the need this season for these boys, for Ethan, Micah, and I'll tell you what right now, Isaac's friends did him no favors in this episode. To show, like, Isaac has always, to me, seemed like a very sweet kid, but in this episode, when Zach and Lydia came over at the very end, and Isaac and his friends are literally laughing in Zach's face, and Zach showed that he was more of a man than any of these guys want to be, when they're literally laughing in his face, I was like, Isaac, you showed what an asshole you are by you and your friends sitting here baking some steaks. His girlfriend was laughing with them. The girlfriends of these guys, I'm like, you all think you have it all figured out there when this guy and Lydia are traveling the world and you're stuck in this small ass town cooking steaks with your friends, buying your girlfriend some junk jewelry up at the, I mean, like, and you're laughing at him. Like, what are we doing here? This toxic masculinity that the show is showing this season, I don't know why TLC is allowing it. But what's even more problematic about it is that the Plath boys and the Plath men, even Barry Plath, don't see anything wrong with it. Like, have they always been this way? Because if Barry Plath has been the way that he showed in this episode, I don't blame Kim for leaving him. So anyway, they go in there and they're talking about Lydia's wedding. And he said that he and Micah decided that they're going to give Zach hell until he basically passes this test to see if he can handle being part of the family. Oh, is that like, you were so pissed when everybody gave Olivia a hard time, but now you're going to do that to Zach, who has been nothing but nice to everybody in the family? Like, don't you think why don't you be the eldest son and grow the fuck up a little bit? Like, Ethan is showing what a child he is in this, talking about, like, the last episode, he's talking about, like, I just want big boobs, and now he's talking about how he's a smoking hot girlfriend and all this kind of stuff. And so then they make some joke about, this is where I was, like, really picking up on the homophobic, like, remarks. What's interesting about this is that last season and the season before, Olivia's brother got a lot of online, like, there was a lot of attention online about Olivia's brother, being homophobic and making homophobic remarks and the church that he belonged to and things like that. The fact that a lot of people aren't saying more about this with this show is because he even makes some joke. Mariah says something about, well, it's a good thing you're not marrying Zach. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, that joke is so like 1990. Like, why are we doing that joke on a reality show in 2025, you know? Anyway, so it goes on. They're sitting there and they're talking. And I'm just like, they are so just like homophobic and misogynist. Like the whole family is, right? Which is interesting to me, in all honesty, because when you see a family of that size, the possibility percentage-wise that one of those children out of, 9 or 10 kids could possibly be part of the LGBTQI plus community is not missed on me. That there could be at least 1 or 2 children that later identifies as part of the LGBTQI plus community. Can you imagine how uncomfortable that would be to be part of that family and have those isolated feelings? Just something to think about as you're watching the show in this climate that we live in right now. So anyway, then and the other thing that was interesting to me is they've always been this way probably, but now they're showing it. Why is TLC deciding to show it now? Like, I'm sure they've always been making these jokes. They've always been this way before. Why are they doing it now? Then they go and he starts talking about Mariah and Veronica and their differences. And Mariah is just like, what? I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why Veronica's mad at me. Like, I wrote her this letter and she didn't. Mariah always plays victim, whether it's with Olivia, whether it's with Veronica. And I know somebody said to me that they don't like how Veronica acts, so I'm not on that episode yet. But at this point where I'm at, like, I think Veronica has a right to stand her ground. I do. Okay, where I'm at right now. But like, and I think if you're going to be on a reality show, like, you need to share what's really going on. Okay, I don't think we keep secrets in reality shows. You sign up for the reality show, you share your shit on a reality show. I think that's how it should go. And so she's like playing this victim, and Ethan, honestly, in this situation, kind of takes Veronica's side more than he does, more than Micah did, actually. And he says that, she says, well, I wrote this letter, blah, blah. And Ethan's like, well, nothing beats an in-person apology, which I 100% agree with. And she's like, I just don't know what to do. He just told you what to do. Did you not get baptized last season? Did you not just claim the Lord as you're like going to save all your problems? Did you not just get baptized and say you've seen the light like Winona Judd and you've got a new life and all this kind of stuff? And now you're saying you don't know what to do. You apologize to the girl. You take ownership over your actions. What's so difficult about that? Y'all were raised in this home where you sang fucking Christian music and you like, all you ever say is, the Lord will leave me. The Lord will leave me. I know what the Lord tell me what to do. And then in this situation, you're saying you don't know what to do? Do the fucking right thing. Go to apologize to her. Say it was shitty what I did to you. And yeah, maybe you had a part in it. Have a conversation. We find out later Veronica's reached out to Mariah and other family members many times, and they never responded, you know? So anyway, he says she's not going to make any amount of progress until she settles her debts, which I thought, coming from her brother, was a pretty profound statement. That Ethan's telling Mariah, until you settle the debts of your past, like, you're not going to show that you've made any progress. But then they, you know, like, this killed me so much. Like, at the very end of the episode, when, like, Ethan, you know, he's coming out, it's like, I'm showing that I'm the cool older brother. He's, like, smoking a cigar on his car. I'm like, dude, you could not even fix shit with your wife that she would sit down and have a conversation with you on camera, okay? She left you in Minnesota to go find a better life because you treated her like shit. And now, you gotta go hang around with your 6 to 10 year younger brother, okay? And act like you're the cool older brother smoking a cigar out in his parking lot. Like, who is Ethan Plath? Like, what has he turned into? Has he always been this toxically masculine? Like, what is this? Because it doesn't work. Like, he really isn't. Like, the funny thing about it is, Ethan Plath is really not that, like, stereotypically macho or masculine. So the fact that he's playing it off this way is, like, cracks my shit up, because he's like he's like smoking a cigar. I'm like, dude, like, what act are you putting on? You know, like, what secrets is he keeping in his closet, Ethan Plath? Like, I'm confused about all that. So then we go to Veronica, and this is where the last episode ended, when she was FaceTiming Olivia. And she said she's been texting her all summer long. Olivia didn't want to talk to her at first. She didn't want to get involved with it. She didn't think that Veronica liked her because she saw the episode where Veronica called her a narcissist and all this stuff. But then she saw her being bullied online, and she felt bad for her, so she reached out to her. Veronica goes in to talk about how she was bullied online, and they were bullying her for gender speculation, and they were body shaming her. I don't know, apparently because she's so tall and stuff like that. So I shared this in my last video, and I'll share it again. I hung out with Veronica. I mean, hung out loosely. We stood with her and Micah and their friend going into a VIP section. I mean, it was literally, we were in a row. So it was them standing in front of us for 2 hours at Ultra Music Festival a couple years ago. And she was delightful. She was wonderful. She was amazing. Veronica, and maybe I'm like basing my judgment on her this season on that incident. Micah was very nice too. Micah was very pleasant. I talked to Micah for a little bit. I even said, you look like Micah Plath from the show. Welcome. He like looked it up, acted like he was looking it up. She talked to my husband. She and her friend talked to my husband a lot. We held lines for them to go to the bathroom. They held lines for us to go to the bathroom. We talked for probably 2 hours straight to them. They were very, very nice. Well, Micah didn't really talk to us a whole lot. He played it off like he didn't know what Welcome to Plathville was, because I think that at that point he was wanting to keep Veronica like a secret, which I think is interesting that she's now accusing him of cheating. But she was super, super friendly. She is beautiful in person, and she was extremely friendly, extremely polite, so nice to us. At one point, my back was hurting so bad from standing up, and she like leaned over. She's like, "Are you okay?" She was like, "I'm so sorry." I was like, "It's not your fault the line's taking so long." She was such a wonderful, I mean, she didn't know me, you know, and so this online stuff just goes too far because you love people on a reality show. Get the fuck over it, you know? She says that she got a message from Olivia at the time that she was being bullied online, and that is all that she needed in that moment, was just a validation that somebody else had gone through that. She apologizes to Olivia for what she said. She takes sincere accountability, and I mean really goes overboard in apologizing to Olivia. Micah does not know that they've talked. She says that Olivia's name on her phone is Becky, and that'll be a joke, I'm sure, later down the road. Olivia doesn't want to jeopardize that relationship and the family's relationship, because she's like, as soon as they find out that you're talking to me, it's going to be over, because Micah is going to be so pissed about it. And this is where I'm like, why is everybody so scared of the Plaths collectively? Like, what is that about? That they're scared of the Plaths collectively. Not just Micah, or what he could do, or what has he done, or Barry, or Kim, but all of them collectively. Is it's like, if you don't do what we say, you'll get kicked off the show? Or you'll be bullied and credit? I mean, what is it that they're so scared of? I wouldn't be scared of them people. I mean, I know that some of them have gone through hell. I know that some of them, like Olivia and Veronica, have gone through hell. But I wouldn't be scared of them people. I'd say, you know what? I'm going to be doing an article like Natalia Grace in People Magazine, so you better watch the fuck out, because I'm going to come for you. I'm going to tell all them secrets. So then she says that she's playing with fire, not telling Micah. Then they flash forward to Lydia. She's living in Tallahassee with this friend of hers named Mariah. She says that they talk about Zach sleeping on the couch. They're still not kissing. They haven't kissed yet. They're just sitting around talking about the proposal that he's going to make, and he's planning with her mom, Kim, to surprise Lydia, even though she knows that she's getting proposed to, but it's still a secret. Shh. And then it shows Kim and him planning it. Kim says that they're moving really, really quick. All these people that say that Lydia and Zach are moving too quick, like Barry and Kim, okay, who had some fake-ass relationship that they can't even get divorced because they're fighting over finances. Ethan is saying that they're moving too fast, and he and Olivia, he wasn't even willing to go to therapy or work it out with Olivia past a certain time, okay? All these people are like giving Zach and Lydia, who I like them together. They seem real sweet to me together, you know? I kind of like the fact that they are saving some stuff till marriage, you know? Anyway, I mean, Ethan was like fucking a dog humping Olivia half the time. He couldn't wait to just fuck that girl all the time. She's probably like, settle down. Like, no, dude, give me a night to watch my shows on Netflix. You know, I don't want to fuck you tonight. And so maybe they are saving it for the right thing. Hell, I don't know. But anyway, and then they talk about Ethan. And Lydia says that if Ethan had any objections to it, that they would know. And I'm like, oh, girl. Well, he already said that your fiancé is gay, and he does have objections to it. So anyway, then they're talking about how they just sit around, they sing and dance all the time, and all this kind of stuff. And then they stand up, and the three of them sing Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace. How? So if you didn't know, I have a Peter Watches TV Instagram, and last night I posted on there a picture of the three. Hold on, where is it at? Why is it not showing me? A picture of the three of them. Here it is, singing Amazing Grace. And I said, raise your hand if you and your fiance and your roommate hang out in your pajamas and sing Amazing Grace for fun. Waiting? No one? Okay. So you can go check out all of my fun posts on my Instagram over there. Okay. Then, that part felt a little cultish to me. I do have to say that part felt a little cultish to me. Then we're with Kim, and she's now hostessing at this restaurant. She looked like she had had a day. She looked like when they were filming her, like she was maybe not the world's best hostess. She said she hadn't worked since college. Lydia and Mariah both worked there too, so I don't know, maybe they got her a job. But it did kind of make me sad. This whole part made me so sad that Kim, while Barry is lifting weights and just hanging out, Kim is waiting tables, okay, or hostessing at a restaurant, and she doesn't have any access to her money. Barry's not paying child support. She don't have any money of her own, and she's hustling ass hostessing. It was the first moment that I've ever in seven seasons felt sorry for Kim. She doesn't know what's going to happen with the properties. I'm like, why don't we ever find out anything that happens on this show? Like, a couple things came out in this episode that we never knew. Okay, like Veronica saying that Micah cheated on her. That was how the show ended. And then we find out that Barry is not paying any child support. What? They've been separated for 3 years. Why, TLC, you owe your audience an answer as to why in 3 years of us watching this fucking show of them being separated, that it has never come out that Barry Plath is not paying 1 cent of child support. Not 1 cent, okay? That is called a deadbeat dad. Why is he not paying 1 cent of child support? Okay, they have joint custody. Or if it goes the other way and Kim owes the child support, why isn't she paying Barry? Why is this discussion of child support only coming up now to the point that Kim can't even pay her bills? She doesn't even know how she's going to put gas in her car. And Barry goes, well, the attorneys will figure it out. He is such an ass in that moment. He shows why women don't ever want to go to court over divorces and custody and things like that, because he is such an ass and he thinks he has all the power in that scene. Made me so sick. But why don't we ever find out anything on the show? Like she says in the first episode, Ken and I are still friends. We just don't kiss or have sex. And then Ken's not in the show anymore. We don't see Ken anymore. What happened with Ken? Where's Ken? Is Ken anywhere around? Is he ever going to be in an episode? I guess you guys will let me know, probably. But anyway, then she shares that she got a DUI after her and Barry separated. And that she says in there, she talks about not driving a car for a year and that she had community service and court fees. I'm like, what? Wait, this is a reality show, okay? They got separated 3 years ago. We've had 2 seasons between that happening and now. Shannon Bedore, okay, had an entire season after she got a DUI where she had to talk about that on the Real Housewives of Orange County. Gina Kirschenbaum, she's still talking about, okay, DUIs and her sobriety and things like that. Why is Kim Plath exempt from having to talk about a DUI that she got? That probably factors into all of this. Because then she does go on to say, and Barry has never really asked her, like, if she was okay after that, and she was never a heavy drinker, and that she was drinking heavily after they got separated because she wasn't in a good state. Why are we not seeing that reality show? Why are they not showing us the reality show of Kim saying she's not in a good place? Why are we always just seeing her in the kitchen frying up some chicken and dumplings, okay, acting like they're all a fucking happy family? Why are we not seeing that, okay? The fact that somebody said she was living in an Airbnb, whatever. On the show, they showed that she was living in a boat that wouldn't start, okay? Now it's starting to kind of make a little bit of sense. Maybe that's all the money that she had to rent. Who knows? Okay, but like they leave all this stuff out. Then she says in there that Barry never even asked her if she was okay or anything at that time. Then we're at Isaac's, and he and his friends are grilling out steaks. Lydia and Zach are coming over. Ethan is coming. Then his girlfriend Kaylin is in the kitchen, and he bought her this necklace, and she's like, he's so romantic. He's so romantic. I just love Isaac so much. And then she's like, this is her first time meeting Ethan, which I thought it was interesting that this is her first time meeting Ethan, but she didn't laugh at Ethan. But it was also her first time meeting Zach, and she laughed at Zach, like Zach was a joke. And they're talking about their feelings about Zach. He says it's too quick. He doesn't care. Ethan says, I don't care how many mountains they've hiked. And I'm like, well, how did that work out for you and Olivia? Because you and Olivia worked together and around your family for a long time. And they all turned on her like that, and you couldn't be bothered with her anymore. So just because you guys took your time, it didn't work out that well for you. So why do you think it's any different with them? Maybe a faster marriage for them is going to work out just great. Maybe they really are that much in love. So then we're back at Kim's house. Barry's there. He's there to get the girls and discuss the secret proposal. They're still not divorced. They can't agree on the settlement agreement or something. They have joint custody. They can't talk because every time they talk and they don't agree on something, he gets up and he leaves and he says, I'm not going to have this conversation, is what Kim says. She said she's so scared of talking to him. Okay. Or she says in there that she can't talk to him because of this bitterness, is what she tells him. In this moment, like, she's literally shaking. Like, you can tell Kim is so scared to ask him for money, to ask him for anything. It's really kind of sad. And she says in there that she needs child support. He doesn't give her a dime, she says. He says he feels ambushed. He goes, I feel ambushed. I was coming over here to talk about this proposal. Well, she can't ever get him alone any other time to talk about anything. And then he walks out. She gets a phone call from one of her Airbnb guests. And so he walks outside. And when she walks out to confront him about it, he says, I'm not filming this anymore. This was the second time that this happened on the episode when one of them marched off and said they weren't going to be filmed anymore. I thought that was very, very interesting. And then she says to him, do you want me to go inside and tell my side of the story to the producers? I was like, okay, Kim, all right. So then I'm like, what aren't they sharing though? What's her side of the story that they're not sharing? So then they go back inside, of course, and this is what pisses me off so much about TLC is what they don't show, okay? You wonder why your ratings are not that great on some of these shows? This is why, because you don't show the real shit. Then he goes back in, and he says he does because he doesn't want to leave with a negative attitude. Bullshit. You go back in because the producers told you that you had to, or Kim was going to be interviewed alone, and you didn't want Kim to tell her story, so you go back in so that you can have more control. This whole family is all about men having control in this family. It's so disgusting. And he goes in, and so she talks about she's going broke, and she's like, why aren't the attorneys moving forward? He goes, why aren't the attorneys moving forward? Everything she says, he just echoes back to her. It's like gaslighting manipulation, like A+. Like, it's so disgusting. And then he says that the lawyers will just have to deal with it. I'm like, what about child support, Barry? Like, you have more, this is the power differential and you having more money. Like, why aren't you paying child support? Why are we not discussing this show that's based around this Christian family that are good parents and the father isn't even paying child support to the point where the mother can't even put food on the table, supposedly? I mean, is Barry hostessing in a restaurant too and we just don't see that because TLC has chosen not to show us that? And the reason that they haven't got the divorce yet is because neither one will accept the other person's settlement agreement. I would love to see those settlement agreements. Because I have a feeling that Kim is asking for what is fair, and Barry is like, I'm not giving her shit, is what I think it is. And at that point was when I was like, if this is how it's always been, then I understand why she left. I understand why Kim left in that moment. Okay, this is getting to the end, so let me stop this now because it's almost the 30-minute mark. Hold on. Okay, now we're at Isaac's cabin, his friend's cabin, and they call themselves the Rowdies. And Ethan fits in because he's a rowdy too. I don't know how they would know because they never hang out with Ethan because he spends the entire year up in Minnesota. And Zach and Lydia show up and they're all sitting around, they're eating these steaks. They are so fucking rude. Not just to Zach, but to Lydia too. I mean, this is their sister. And they're sitting there, they're all just sitting there eating, and as soon as Zach and Lydia walk in, it's like they are busting themselves laughing so hard over Zach that they are about to like pee their pants. The girls are laughing too. The girlfriends of Isaac's, disgusting behavior, okay? They're all laughing too. And if it were me, like if I were Lydia, Zach stands up for himself. I was so impressed with how Zach behaved. If I were Lydia, I would have looked at my brothers and said, what the fuck are you laughing at? And then, I would have said, we're done. We're out. Don't come to my proposal. Don't come to my fucking wedding. Okay? Lydia, you need to learn to stand up for your man. Because this was your moment and you fell short. You fell short. And you even said later, well, like, I think like Ethan's just kind of giving him a hard time. No, he's not giving him a hard time. Your brother's being a fucking asshole is what. Okay? And you should have walked out. You should have stood by your man. Because he would stand by you. Okay? We already know that about Zach. He would stand by you. It was ridiculous. And, then Isaac says that Zach is a lot different than he and his friends. And I'm like, what? He's not toxically masculine enough for you? Because you guys have to break down somebody else, another man, because they're not on the same level as you? You know? I guess that's what it's about, right? And even his girlfriend, I said, put on here is laughing. I'm like, it's so fucking rude. So then Zach is sitting at the table and he confronts Ethan and says, anything you want to share with the choir? I was like, yes. And Ethan's like, the choir? Like, are you that stupid, Ethan, that you don't understand what he's saying? It's a joke? And then Zach's like, yeah, I grew up in a lot of choirs. Well, that just gave fuel to ammunition because he was being sarcastic. And they're like, I grew up in a lot of choirs. Then they were just laughing at that more. And then Zach says he would love to be brought in on the jokes, is what he says to them. He stands as great. He looks right at him. He goes, I like to be brought in on the jokes too. Shuts them down real quick. In that moment, they all stop. They all stop. Because Zach's like, you're not going to fuck with me to my face, is what Zach says, in a very nice way. And in this moment, you can see that Zach, and I think this is what pisses them off so bad about Zach, is that Zach is so much more of a man than any of them ever wish they could be. Any of them, okay? Any of them. It was just disgusting. Then Lydia says Ethan is just trying to push her buttons. No, he's being disrespectful to your fiancé, Lydia, who is going to be your husband in a month. It's disrespectful. You should have walked out of there. You're a grown-ass woman. You sit there and talk about being led by Christ. This is the kind of shit that drives me crazy with these religious shows, okay? She wants to sit there and have a fucking prayer closet and talk about being Christ-like and Christ is leading her the right way. What is Christ telling you to do in that moment, okay? Protect his flock. Get the fuck out of that house, okay? You are in a den of wolves in that house with your flock of sheep, okay? You need to take your sheep and get the fuck out of that house and tell those wolves that you don't want nothing to do with them anymore. Okay? But you don't. You don't. Okay? And that shows who you are, Lydia Plath. So I hope she truly turns around and has some shit to say to her brothers in the next 2 episodes. Now we're at Micah and Veronica's house. And they're talking about the new house. You can tell Veronica is just, she's pissed. And the producer asks if they're okay. And she says she doesn't want to be around the family anymore. Micah's so uncomfortable in the situation. And then she says that she's reached out. And he says he doesn't really know what's going on. Micah just plays stupid. I think Micah has played stupid for 6 seasons. And I think he is smarter than we have given him credit for. And I think that he has finally met his match. And I think that we're going to start seeing who Micah Plath really is this season. And he's like, I don't really know what's going on. I don't really know why she's upset. And Veronica says Mariah knows exactly what was going on with her at the time that she pulled the shit with her and started being mean to her and saying stuff to the family and saying stuff to Barry and everything about her. And Veronica and Micah's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Veronica's like, do you want me to bring it? I can bring it to the camera. Do you want me to bring it to the camera? I'll bring it to the camera because I want to show who Mariah I want to show who Mariah is at the time that she was treating me the worst when I thought we were friends and we loved each other. Then she goes, okay, I'll put it out there. Micah's cheated on me several times and Mariah knew that and Mariah took his side. I'm like, damn. Damn. Okay, now this is making sense to me. Now this is making sense to me. And she says she never, and this to me showed a lot of character. And I know Veronica does something in the next couple episodes that doesn't show that she's that great because somebody reached out to me and said it. But in this moment, like, she says she didn't come out with it before because she wanted to protect Micah from the backlash that he was going to get online. And she's like, I'm not doing that anymore because they've all come for me. And I totally understand that. But I'm telling you, this episode, woo, baby, heated me up. Anyway, if you're watching, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.